So the spirits really want to talk about a separate reality. This is very much related to a lot of the other videos, especially the energy vase, the subtle body, our energy body, our true self, our true energy that we talked about in the other video. When we make that energy shift from within, usually by healing one of our wounds or multiple wounds, and our brain allows us to then shift onto a different rung of the ladder, what is actually happening is it's like a fluttering, but there's a very slight, or it can be more extreme, but usually a very subtle shift in our reality. We all, because of our internal energies, we all have our own internal energy vases. We all live, our whole environment, we all have a slightly different reality to each other. So two people could experience the same situation, and two people could have completely different takes on it. And the reason for that is that our own energy makeup means that we all have a slightly different reality within us going on. So when we heal our wounds from our spiritual vase, we fill up and plug our holes. It's like, because there will be an increase, a flood in our own energy, what we're getting back, we're no longer squandering it and pouring it away, the brain has to realign with all the facts that it thought were true. Because if it thought shame was correct, was the truth, if it thought that shame, every time that happened we feel terrible, we feel shame, we feel guilt, whatever. If our energy has flooded in and we've changed that wound, we no longer feel that way anymore about it. We feel okay, actually. We understand why we did that. That made sense, what we did at the time. It made sense. I don't need to berate myself about it. I don't need to feel terrible about that. That's a healing. That's a healing that's taken place, an increase in energy. Now, the shame that was an absolute fact that the brain was telling us, that shame, yes, you should have felt terrible about that. It was shameful, it was embarrassing, it was abhorrent. The brain was fitting in with that truth. That's now changed. So the brain has to realign itself completely to the shift very quickly. And what has actually happened is, because of law of attraction going on, when we're in shame, law of attraction would have had to show us lots of shameful situations to repeat that truth going on. Repeat. Oh, fall down. Oh, look, she's got knickers and a twist. Whatever the shame is, look at her humiliating herself down there. God, look at that. Isn't that awful? That's shifted. That's changed. It's gone away. It's finished. It's healed. That wound has gone. So how does law of attraction work with that? Well, law of attraction has to change. It can't, that situation will pass you by now. You see someone else falling on the floor with the knickers and a twist, you think, oh, that's not shameful. She just tripped over, or what, I don't know. It's a silly example, but you won't see it in that same point of view, because your reality has shifted. Law of attraction will then give you a shifted reality as well, which proves that the reality internally, the truth, has to be reflected on the outside. So the brain has to shift too. It allows us to go up to another rung of the ladder, but it also shows us a different reality. That reality is no longer playing for you anymore. Those old shames and old patterns. We know ourselves when we've gone from old patterns and changed our life. Our reality has shifted. That's fundamental sentence. It's not that, oh, that's different and I feel a bit better. Yes, it is all that. I feel better about that now. And reality, your reality has changed. And it's realigned itself. Like a computer, when you see one of these amazing clocks going all realigning itself and getting into a balance, getting into its new default position. It was here and it's changed its position, that is a change in reality. And it's an important distinction to make, that we make these change in our realities, that two people can be in the same situation, obviously, and have completely different experience of those realities, because we are all embedded within our own truth of our own energy and our own experience. We're all within our own truth. And the culmination, the totality of that truth, we move around with us in our day-to-day. But it can change. And that change is a shift in reality. You know, it's not a small thing. The reason it's a shift in reality is that the inside totality changes when we've got more energy and healed our wounds. What's extraordinary and fabulous is that the law of attraction will then reflect that back to us. And that's why it's a change of reality. Because the reality on the outside, the material world, has to shift to match up. We won't have that bad situation happening anymore. A good situation might happen different. That is a shift in reality. That is a shift in the world showing us something very different. That is a shift in reality. So the world will only show us what we have going on internally within us. So they really wanted to talk about a separate reality and accepting the fact, in a way, that when we forever change our inside truth, like if something, we always came to anger, the step back from that was first of all fear. So finding the truth behind the anger would set us free and clean up the wound. If we just focus on the anger, that's probably another video. We just separate reality. It can get incredibly complex. So they really want to talk about each of these in stages, because everything interacts with itself, but pulling each out separately, each part, like the brain or the child, or each of these videos separately, allows them to really focus fully, or the vase, to focus fully on that one thing first of all, and then the things all kind of work together.